Good morning. In the last video, we learned the laws of variable proportions, isoquant curve, isocost curve, and producer's equilibrium. The law of variable proportion is applicable in short-term production function. In short-term production function, one or more variable factor inputs are varied to get the maximum output. Today, we are going to learn about laws of returns to scale. This is a long run concept where both fixed as well as variable factor inputs are changed to maximize the output. In returns to scale, all the factor inputs like land, labor, capital are increased or decreased in the same proportion irrespective of the scale of our production. There are three phases of returns to scale. They are increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and decreasing returns to scale. When the quantity of all the factor inputs are increased in a given proportion and the output increases more than proportionately, then the returns to scale is said to be increasing. When the output increases in the same proportion, then the returns to scale are said to be constant. When the output increases less than proportionately, then the returns to scale is said to be diminishing. Now we can understand this concept with the help of a table. Here you can see there are two factor inputs. One is the land, that is a fixed factor input, and the other one is the labor. But in this figure, in this concept, in this laws on return to scale, here both the factor inputs are increased in the same proportion, as you can see from the table. From serial number 1 to 8, the factor inputs, this 1 acre land is increased to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And the labor, first is 3 labor is added with 1 acre of land. Second is 5 labors are added with the 2 acres of land. Then 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15, and 17. But from this table, we can see that from 1 to 8, the labors are increased in steps of 2, and the land is 1 acres of land is getting added each time. Okay. Now we can see the total output produced from this table also. And we can see from 1 acre plus 1 acre of land plus 3 labor, the total output is produced is 5. And if we can see, it goes on increasing larger than proportionately in a larger fashion, from 5 to 12, then 12 to 21, then 21 to 32. But from here, this 5 and 6 serial numbers, when 5 acres of land plus 11 labors are added, and 6 acres of land plus 13 labors are increased. But here in this case, this is increasing in the same proportion. See, 32 to 43, then 43 to 54, then 11 units increment is there. And subsequently, when more this factor inputs increase, 7 acres of land and 8 acres of land with the corresponding labor, there is a less proportionate increase. See here 7, and this is again it is coming down to 11. Okay. Now what do you mean by here? Then the first up to this 32, we can see this is an increasing return to scale, and from here to 6 and 7 it is constant return to scale, and 7 and 8 is a decreasing return to scale. Increase in return to scale occur when the producer increases the quantity of all the factor inputs, such as here in this case land and labor, in a given proportion, as I have already told you. and the output is increases by a greater proportion. Okay. Then we can see from this example, if all the inputs are increased by, you can say 10%, the output is increased by 15%. Now, in this context, in this type, the factor that we can say the firm is experiencing increasing returns to scale. It denotes that in order to get an increasing in output by 100 units, producer is employing lesser quantities of input and the production cost is also minimizing. Okay. Now we can see this is the marginal curve. Okay, from the previous slide we can see the marginal outputs. No, here first one is 5, then 5, then again 12, 7 units are increased, marginal increase successive unit. Now the difference between 21 and 12 is equal to 9, and here it is 11, then 11, 11, and 9 and 7. You can see, no, from this is increasing returns to scale, then constant return to scale, then 7 and 8 are the decreasing return to scale. We can see this is the marginal curve. There are 3 stages. Now from the tabular column we have seen that there are three steps were there, corresponding stages were there. We can see 3 stages. One is increase in returns to scale, the constant return to scale, and the third is a decreasing return to scale. We can see from A to B, the slope, no, it goes upwards. There is an increase in the production is more and maximum output is produced. And from B to C, there is constant return, means here we can see from the table also, the proportions, the increase in input proportion is constant, but the rate of change, the output proportion is varying. And from B to C, it is a constant returns to scale, and from C to D, the slope goes downward with the decreasing returns to scale. See, now we can elaborate the operation of increase in return to scale can be elaborated using this graph. Okay. Now from this figure we can see these are the isoquant curve with 100 unit and with the 200 output. That is these are the level of output, that is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and 600. You can see the factor X that is a labor and factor Y is the capital. Okay. When here OP is the scale line and we can see the factor inputs are varied at the same proportion, but the scale, no, here the factor inputs are varied at the same proportion, but here the distance for the successive curves, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, the proportion is decreasing, but the output is increasing. That means from A to B, the proportion of input, no, the factor inputs are increased. From B to B, we have again increased the factor inputs. From C to D, we have decreased the factor inputs. And again D to E, it is decreasing. From E to F is also decreasing. But you can see from this graph, the output is increasing. Okay, output is increasing, but with the less changes in the proportionate changes in the input, the output is increasing. This is the operation of increasing returns to scale. Okay, now we can say why it is happening like this. Why it is happening like this? It is because the production can be increased by using latest tools, machineries and equipments. And in large scale production, we can have maximum use of large machines or management expertise in management expertise inputs, which further reduces the production cost. Okay, now as the size of the plant increases, more output can be obtained at lower cost. Now the second condition is constant return to scale. Here the proportion, no, the proportion changes from factor x and factor y. The land and capital is you can see in the curves, isocoan curve, the distance between the scale between a to b and b to c and c to d and e to r, they are constant, there is no change. But we are increasing the factor input in the same scale. Suppose if it is 10% increase, in the corresponding next each level we are increasing the factor inputs by 10%. Now see, the output remains also constant: 100 unit, 200 unit, 300 unit, 400 unit and 500. So we can say this is the example of a constant return to scale. Then the last one is diminishing return to scale. But here we can say the factor inputs labor and labor. Here see, we can say the distance between A and B, the factor inputs are, it is increasing, but we can see the outputs are constant. Okay. Now the proportionate increase of the inputs, that is labor and capital, are increasing on the scale OP, but the outputs are still remain the same. There is not much variation in the level of output produced for each proportionate changes. See, this is the case of a diminishing return to scale. Now why we can say why this is happening like this? Why this is happening? Because the factor inputs are increased, but the output remains constant. Okay. The reason behind this is maybe because of the lack of coordination and the control that reduces the output, or now it can be due to the difficulty in effective and better supervision also, which contributes to the reduction in the output. And sometimes it can be due to the delay in the management decisions, that which can also affect the output. So now in this session we have learned the laws of returns to scale, which is applicable in a long run production function. In a long run production function, we already learned that all the parameters, the factor inputs, can be varied at a equal proportion, so that we can see how the behavior of the output, the level of output is changes according to the proportionate changes in the input. That's all for today. Thank you.